Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm back to talk about Legends of Tomorrow. 2 episodes, episode 317, titled Guest Starring John Noble, which premiered Monday, April 2nd, 2018 on DCW, as well as the season finale, that is episode 318, titled Good, the Bad, and the Cuddly, which premiered on April 9th, 2018 on the CW. I'm recording on April 14th, so it's been a few days, but huge spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the episode already, please go do so first and then come back and see what I have to say about the episode. I'm going to try to recap as quickly as possible for the 2 episodes and then go right into my thoughts about all the other stuff as well, just in case I need to do this disclaimer, but I'm making this solely based for fun. No money is being made off of this video. This is just a way for me to express my thoughts to fellow Legends fans such as yourself. But I've had a few copyright claims for my Legends video, so I thought I'd just say that instead of just assuming you're aware of that. But anyways, I'm going to try to do this in 20 minutes, guys, so let's start the clock, and let's begin with what happened in the 2 episodes. So for 317, timeline-wise, it continues straight from 316. This, you can tell because the Legends team immediately noticed the fact that Amaya had taken the jump ship. So no time. It's not like it's the next day or anything. Like, they immediately notice that it's missing. So there's that. Huge reminder for the episode, though, is that we go to Amaya's village in 1992. Throughout the whole season, Kuwasa has always been referencing the fact that in 1992, that is when not only does Amaya die, but their village is destroyed. And this is where Kuwasa's past really took a turn, I guess you could say. So anyways, the villain of the episode was Gorilla Grodd, Mollis, as well as Damien Dark. Mollis kind of with Nora as its conduit, so I'll leave it at that. But the huge breakdown for the episode, I picked up on 3 different storylines. We get, first one being Gorilla Grodd targeting a young Barack Obama. Second being Damien Dark turning to the Legends team for help to save his daughter. And the third one being Amaya messing with the timeline in Zambezi of 1992. So with that said, Gorilla Grodd, this part of the episode pretty much takes up so little of the time, but pretty much Grodd gets shrunken down only to reappear again in the third storyline with Zambezi. But not only after saving Barack Obama, Sarah eventually goes back to kind of get advice from him before erasing his memory once again. So that's with story number 1. Story number 2, Damien Dark goes to the Legends team after realizing that Mollis' true form will mean destroying Nora's body, which would be killing her. So he goes to them for help to kind of save her by trapping Mollis on the Wave Rider in hopes that they can find a way to kind of extract the tooth. So there's that. Storyline number 3, Amaya tries to get her daughter Essay to accept her destiny because this is what they believe is the reason why the village was destroyed in the original timeline. Nathan helps her, even though Wally tells him not to. In the end, the Legends want Amaya to change the history so that they can release Mollis so they can have an actual form to fight against him. So there's that. Last moments of the episode show Mollis being freed in his demonic form. So he emerges from Nora's body, destroying it in the process, and he comes up this really big, beasted, winged demon, so with horns and all that. So there's that. But moving on to tidbits, though, we find out in this episode that Ava is the 12th clone that Rip has recruited for the Time Bureau. 11 before her have been killed. Sarah tells Ava that she loves her, though it is not said back to her. The totem bearers in this episode are Amaya with the spirit, Nathan with earth, Azari with air, Mick with fire, Ray with the water, although we don't see it actually in use, and Damien Dark with the death totem. John Noble is also appears shortly in this episode to kind of, because it was his voice that they used to fool Nora. It's part of the storyline number 2, but he had a brief cameo in that. Also, Zari tries to use her simulation to help Amaya, but there was no solution that didn't affect the timeline. So that was unfortunate, but they ended up going with it anyways. We do see old Amaya again, and Nathan realizes that she had her memories erased of not only him, but of the Legends and their adventures together. So there's that. And Ava refuses the plan of releasing Mollis in order to stop him, so she doesn't bring the Time Bureau's forces to aid the Legends team. And she kind of told Rip that if he does help them, then that's kind of like his resignation. So anyways, let's move on to 318. So timeline-wise, it immediately picks up where 317 left off. We also get a marker in this episode. Sarah mentions, I believe, that it has been 6 months since they brought Amaya back onto the team, and that was in the events of 302. So from 302 to 317, it's been 6 months for them. So there's that. The episode reminder is the end of Mollis, rightfully so, as it's the season finale, and the villain being Mollis himself. So there's that. Episode breakdown, though, I picked up on 3 storylines once again. First one is escaping Mollis in 1992. Second one, hiding out in the Old West, as it is a temporal blind spot. And the third one, Ray and Damien Darhk have another plan in order to save Nora. So with the first storyline, again, Rip sacrifices himself to buy the Legends team enough time to escape Mollis in 1992. In doing so, they end up going to the Wild West. This is where they come across Mollis controlling the Roman, the Viking, and the pirate army, ultimately giving them the ultimatum of giving over the 6 totems or he'll forcibly take it from them. This is where we see the return of Pirate Blackbeard, Julius Caesar, and that Viking sister that was in the Bebo episode. So there's that. We see Amaya taking a vision quest, revealing how the totems were originally used to stop Mollis, and that was the totems being used together. And the totems were, this is funny, but the totems by the Legends used together to form a massive Bebo, and he fought against Mollis. Kind of think of Bebo being like the Power Rangers Megazords coming together. So there's that. Third storyline is Ray and Damien Darhk going back to 1992, moments before Mollis emerges from Nora's body. In exchange, they save Nora, but Mollis then possesses Damien Darhk, and he's the new vessel, so he gets killed when Mollis reemerges. So there's that. Last moments of the episode show the Legends team finally taking a vacation in Aruba, where Constantine and Gary show up with bad news, letting them know that Mollis wasn't the only demon that they had set free, proof being that Constantine brought in a beheaded dragon head from the looks of it. So there's that. Tidbit-wise, though, Amaya returns to 1942 with her memories still intact, but she's no longer part of Legends anymore. So at least that's something different from the old Amaya we met in the previous episode. Second one, the 6 totems are given to Kawasa until the new totem bearers are found. Keep in point that this Kawasa is not the one we've known for the rest of the season, but this is the new version of Kawasa that was affected because Zambezi was saved in 1992. And this version, well, I'll get to that later. Also, we see a connection kind of brewing between Zari and Jonah Hex. Also, we see many familiar faces. We get Jax coming back, finding out that he's married with a daughter. For him, it's been 5 years since he left the Legends team, even though for Legends, it's only been a few months. We see the return of Helen of Troy, who has been training on Themyscira, and she kicks ass for the looks of it. And then again, we see Kawasa's return, and this is the new version. And she shares the spirit totem with her sister Mari, and you can kind of see that her outfit in this final battle does resemble Mari's Vixen outfit from the present day. So there's that. And the last tidbit is that while she is taken into the Time Bureau's custody, Ray gives Nora her father's time stone as a way for her to have a second chance. So how long she actually stays in the Time Bureau's custody is to be left unanswered, but it's left us wondering that we may see her again sometime, maybe. So moving on, a most shocking moment of the episode. For 307, it'd have to be seeing the true form of Mollis. That's for for some reason, I didn't think he would actually be a winged beast, but then again, I'm always used to the demons on Supernatural, which are smoky spirits that end up possessing people, essentially. Anyways, with 318, though, most shocking moment was the fact that we have Mollis fighting a big, large Bebo, like the Megazords, in a sense, because the Bebo was actually the 6 totem-bearing Legends together. So that was a shock. But moving on to top 3 favorite moments. For 317, I have to say Damien Darhk's interaction with the Legends team, going to them and then kind of like not being very... I would say not being very, like, aggressively intimidating, but he still had, like, his quirk and his charm and, like, his attitude towards them, but also kind of like, oh, let me give you a hand here. And then, like, it's just, you could kind of tell that the dynamic between him and the Legends team, especially with him and Nate, have definitely changed since it was first introduced, not only last year, but also with the version of Damon and Derek we knew on Arrow in season 4. So I just found those interactions funny, especially when he was talking to Sarah and how he was saying that if he could take what he did to Laurel back, he would, and, like, trying to repent in a way. But it was very interesting. Also, another favorite was the fact that Sarah went to get advice from Obama. That was funny. But he did give some sound advice, so there is that. And another favorite of mine is that Amaya got to actually change the history of her village, which caused a butterfly effect, in a sense. It does peeve me, though, that it affects so much, yet we don't see it, or we are not aware of how much it changes, because we have to remember that Mari did go to Star City in season 4. We did meet her. And now that she shares the totem with her sister, does that affect anything? Does it affect any of the other mentions of her in the present day? But I do like the fact that Amaya got to change that crucial moment in her history. Or in her future, I guess you could say. But it does peeve me a bit about the aftershocks for it, I guess you could say. Moving on, though, from 318, I have to say the very last scene of the episode, the team vacation to Aruba, that was funny, even with Mick's comment about, like, I said Aruba, I wasn't inviting all you guys, but that was great to see them not only relaxing after a long mission, but just to have that funny team bonding thing. That was great. Another favorite of mine was all the familiar faces we got to see. It's great to see Jax again, although it kind of solidifies the fact he doesn't return to the team. I thought maybe after he left earlier on in the season that maybe he would eventually come back, but it doesn't look like it. So, but it was great to know that he did get his version of a happy ending, and also his daughter he named Martina in honor of Martin Stein. So there's that. Also, another favorite of mine was the big army battles in the Wild West, all the fight scenes, everyone showcasing their skills and stuff. That was just fantastic to see. I love the huge scale of it as well. So there's that. And another favorite would have to be the scene with Ray, Nate, and Damien Dark just before they leave on the jump ship. The dynamic is hilarious, how Damien Dark just waving saying hi Nate, and then Ray and Nate are trying to figure out what the best course of action is before Ray punches him. It's just, that scene was just hilarious. So I'll leave it at that. But moving on to top 3 peeved moments. For 317, the first peeve I had was the fact that Ray couldn't access the water totem. I really wanted to see how that would have been portrayed through him, as we've come to be aware of how it's used with Kwasa. So that was a slight peeve of mine. Another peeve I had was the fact that Damien Dark betrayed the Legends. I mean, I'm not surprised that he did it, but I kind of wish that he kept his word and did what he promised he would do. But that's a slight peeve there, because I kind of half expected it. It's part of his character. Also with 318, this was kind of a mixed peeve for me. It was the fact that the big fight was Mollis going up against a giant Bebo. I mean, that was pretty much such a joke. I mean, it was hilarious to watch, and it was great to see that huge type of a scale fight. But the fact that it was Bebo, that was a joke for me. I mean, I just couldn't believe that Mollis would have been killed by a massive impact while being cuddled by a plush doll. I mean, he's supposed to be this time demon and so powerful, all powerful, and yet he got crushed to death by a fluffy doll. I mean, that just makes no sense to me whatsoever. But it was entertaining to watch. It's just the logic of it, minus the fact that we're talking about a demon and we're trying to kill it here, but the logic of it just did not make sense for me. I was laughing from how much of it just entertaining, it completely out there, but that's why it's a mixed peeve for me. So anyways, moving on to what moment will I remember most if I look back on these episodes. 317, Mollis in his true form, and then 318, the end of Mollis, for sure. So pretty much Mollis was a huge reminder for these 2 episodes. So I'll leave it at that. Now, random questions. I did have a lot after these 2 episodes. So for the first one, from 317, my first question was that now that Amaya's village was saved in 1992, does that change the futures for Kuasa and Mari? Does that change the Arrowverse? Kind of mentioned that previously. It was kind of answered in 318 with Kuasa and the fact that she now shares the spirit totem with Mari in the present day, but does that change anything else that we know about them in the Arrowverse? So there's that. Second question, with Malice being confirmed as an actual demon, will the legends explore more into the supernatural aspect side of, or the demonology of it? I mean, is this how they bring Constantine back in as a regular? I think that's how that kind of got alluded to in 318, just from the fact that Constantine was brought back and saying that more demons were released when they released Malice, and the fact that it looked like a dragon head as one of them. So I think that's what the whole season 4 is going to be all about, is try to capture all these demons and stuff, which is very similar to how season 2 of Supernatural ended. The fact that they opened the gate to hell and released all these demons, kind of reminded me of what is now happening on Legends. So there's that. But moving on, next question. What about Sarah not needing the death totem to access it? She didn't use it in this episode. She does use it in the end in 318. But what about her not needing the actual totem to access the power from the totem? Because Nora kept talking about that in the episode where Malice was possessing her. So I'm wondering, is that going to be brought up again? And last question for 317 was, why would Damien Dark be more powerful with the death totem if the totem just allows the bearer to have control over the dead? Or was the display of telekinesis from Death Sarah from the totem and not from Malice possessing her? I'm a little confused by that, for sure. Just the specifics of what the death totem could do. We saw what it did when Elvis was controlling it, but then when Sarah or Damien Dark were using it, it didn't really show the same thing, so I'm a little confused by that. But 318, though, the questions there was, first one, how was the water totem able to switch hands between Ray and Wally? At the beginning, it was with Ray. At the very end, when it came to the final fight, it was with Wally. So I'm wondering, why was it able to switch hands so easily? And also, why didn't it need a test to kind of show its loyalty toward its bearer? I mean, with the spirit totem, it needed to pass a test and show a selfless act in order to truly bond with its bearer, like we showed with Amaya and with Nora switching hands. But why were none of the other totems having to go through this? So that's another question there. Also, another question, Nora showed telekinetic powers while not under Malice's influence. Where did she get that power from? Was it something she got from Damien Dark, from when she was a kid or something? Or what? Like, why does she have that telekinetic power? Another question, will Kuasa continue to share the spirit totem with Mari in the present day, or will she be the new water totem bearer that she was in her altered future self? Or her altered resurrected self, I should say. Or altered original resurrected self, I should say. Yeah, so there's that question. Also, when we see Amaya again on the Legends team, I'll come back to that later though, but I don't know if we'll see Amaya again. And then the next question, is Rip Hunter really dead? I hope not, because again, until I see a body, I'm not going to believe that he's actually dead or not. But they definitely did a very good job of convincing me, since they had all this montage and old quotes and old scenes and stuff of him. And that was also another favorite I should add. Yeah, that's about it. So moving on to predictions very quickly, since this is the season finale, happy to say that on April 2nd, it was announced that Legends was renewed for season 4. Also, the fact that Ava Sharp has been promoted to series regular for the upcoming season 4, alongside with Constantine, so there's that. Also, the last moments of the episode did set up the fact that now the team might actually have to be hunting demons that were released with Malice. As I mentioned in the question before, which was stated in my previous video. So I guess we'll have to wait and see if demon representations will be like Malice, or like that possible dragon head and actually look like these beasts, or if it's going to be something more along like the supernatural demon representations over on that show. We'll have to wait and see about that, but that explains why they would bring Constantine on as a regular, so there's that. I will have to say, though, they'd have to be pretty damn convincing of what is a demon and how they can easily hide it from regular society, because I definitely wasn't really a fan of Mollus's true form. I mean, I was more a fan of how he was able to possess people and the power he had through those possessions, and then how that was portrayed. I was more of a fan of that representation, and just the way they portrayed that. But him, the actual form of him, I mean, yeah, it was intimidating and massive, but I wasn't really sold on the fact that he was a demon. I mean, for his form like that, it would have to be a more elaborate, a more forceful way to kill him type of a thing. But anyways, that's it I'm gonna have to say about the 2 episodes. But what'd you guys think of it? What'd you guys like about it? What do you think is gonna happen next season? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear your own thoughts, theories, and predictions about the 2 episodes. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, gifs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all found in one place. I'm really behind, but I will catch up. But everything will be located there. Also, it's connected to my WordPress account. Link for that is also down below. Everything I post online is connected to there. So I hope you check it out as well. And there's the timer, guys, and I'm finished. So thank you so much for tuning in this past season. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope you come back and see what I have to say about my other videos. I will make another video when the CW Upfronts happens, and that will have Legends in there as well. So I hope you check that video out. But until then, guys, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.